Hey everybody, let's talk about No Man's Sky. The big gaming disappointment. For me anyway, and I'm sure for a few people. There have already been a lot of reviews. This has probably got to be the only other game to come out this year that has caused a lot of mixed opinions, and not to mention some of the most ridiculous reactions online. Just from random people in general, usually fanboys and things like this. Let's start from the beginning. When I first saw No Man's Sky, I was very intrigued and very excited and very interested. And then I started getting very doubtful about it as it kind of teetered along, and every time they would show a new, game demo or just game footage, it didn't really show you anything. It just showed you flying along your ship, you land, and then get out, walk around a bit, hop back in, and then take off. And vice versa. They did eventually start showing some variants on combat, but that was pretty much it. But for the longest time, developers never really came out and ever really said what is at the core of the game. What do you primarily do? Instead, they kind of tap dance around it and never really asked the direct questions. And I always had a fear about what this game might be. And lo and behold, those fears were validated. It's Minecraft in space. And sure, there are a lot of people who really do love Minecraft, and I'm aware of that. I played Minecraft. Not a lot of it. A bit of it. Wasn't my thing. Really wasn't that into it. And boy, oh boy. This is worse than Minecraft, for me. This is just more boring than Minecraft. And the funny thing is, and, let's bear something in mind, I only played Minecraft quite a few years after it had come out. And already after so many other people had looked at it and shown everything that could be done, possibly, with Minecraft to this point. And it looked really interesting. It looked a lot of fun. It's just that in order to actually have that fun, you have to do a lot of work for it. Well, take a lot of that fun out, but still leave in a bit of that survival element, and you got No Man's Sky. So, it's randomly generated, it's procedurally generated planets and such with different life, and then different plants and different elements. So, a good amount of work really did go into this. I mean, the game does look great. My main problems with it are, for one thing, I don't really like the color palette on this. Everything is always either too red or too orange. Not my two favorite colors, by the way. I've actually always been bothered by the color red. Like, it just makes me feel uncomfortable. And dear God, if a lot of this game, for me, does not begin to feel just incredibly tedious. The constant reminders every few minutes about your life support dropping, or your suit internal systems dropping, and then... Because if there's one thing I do not like in a game, especially these days with modern gaming, is having to stop doing what I'm doing, to pause the game, go into my inventory, and recharge my systems every few minutes. Hell, I got a reminder about, even after I just recharge my system that it dropped again. Because, yeah, who doesn't love that? And, you know, and survival elements in a game can be fun and challenging every once in a while. But this is becoming too much of a norm, is kind of my problem. Too many games, it seems, are trying to incorporate a crafting or surviving element. And we don't need realism in our games, at least not all the time. That's fine every once in a while. It's fine. Not all the goddamn time. Christ, we play video games, we watch movies, we read books, we listen to music to get away from the drudgery of our mundane lives, of having to survive every single day, so we can just sit down and have a little fun for a couple of hours. That's fine. Sure, we can have some change from that every once in a while. I don't mind something that makes me think, or something where I probably have to put a little bit of work into. That's fine every once in a while, not all the goddamn time. And I remember hearing about how supposedly you can get into dogfights in outer space, and I remember hearing how at one point you could chase other ships through canyons on planets and various other things. And of course there's also the big thing about how it's rare that you'll ever encounter another player. You know what's funny to me about that, and I've been thinking about this again and again, is that, you know, Minecraft has so much more going for it than No Man's Sky did. And I don't know how Minecraft was when it first came out. I don't know what wasn't a part of it, and then what probably came later from free DLC, or really who knows what. But it's just funny to think how Minecraft has potentially limitless cooperative play with various friends, be it local or online. Friends and other people that you can just invite into your game and into your world and play with them and build stuff with them, and they can go off and go do their own thing, and you can go off and go do your thing in your same world. But in No Man's Sky, you can't do that, it seems, at all. You can't invite anybody into your game. And even if you and a friend were playing, it's highly unlikely you two would ever meet. So, there's that. And this is something that really bothered me too. Now, I've only played the game for probably about a few hours at best. And I only recorded about a half hour's worth of footage. But this is something that really bothered me. When they were talking about how you can fly through canyons and other stuff like this. Is it bothersome to anybody else that you can't crash your ship? I was planetside, coasting along the surface, and I was curious. Can I crash or damage my ship against a tree or a mountain or anything like that? Want to know the answer? No, you can't. It bothers me how you can't deliberately crash your ship. How the second you get close to even a mountain, your ship just floats right above it as if it were a cloud, like it wasn't even there. I've tried boosting directly into land, and I just coasted right above it. Way to take away the realism there, guys. I mean, what the hell? And I haven't gotten into space combat or anything like that. I did go out into space, but I quickly got pulled away by the fact that, hey, there's a beacon over here. And I boosted like hell and still couldn't get to that damn beacon. But also, from what I understand about space combat, when you first start off, don't get involved in it. You'll die very quickly because your ship sucks. It also doesn't help either that it seems that a lot of space combat for your starter ship or anything like that isn't very good. I mean, the combat in and of itself in this game does not feel good at all. It does not feel designed very well at all. And just traveling around in this game does not feel good. Just walking along the surface and then just looking around for anything and everything that you need that will actually help you is another thing that is just traveling in general is tedious and boring. Even jumping in your ship and flying around feels boring and tedious. Because, again, you gotta worry about everything. You gotta worry about... I mean, thankfully, you know, when you're in your ship, you don't have to worry about your life support or your suit taking any damage or anything like that, thank God. But, if you fly around and use your ship a bunch, you're then gonna have to worry about fuel, and... You know, I had my fears and I had my doubts about what this game was going to be, especially with all the delays and pushbacks, and with the very few bits of game footage that they would show and everything. Because if this game really was everything that it was, you know, everything that everybody online was glorifying it to be and such, then yeah, it would be, but it wasn't. It's Minecraft in space for $60. I don't know what Minecraft was when it first came out, how much it was. I do think it went for a little bit cheaper than that. And again, that's a randomly generated world too. I mean, yeah, it's one randomly generated world, but it's a world that can also change again and again. And it's funny too, because Minecraft seems to have a lot more going for it than No Man's Sky does. It also looks better, too, in terms of color contrast and such things like that. It's just a shame that those sort of things, the whole crafting elements and things like that, are not a big interest for me. Which is funny, too, because in a game like Skyrim, where you can just spend all your time crafting, and I would spend a lot of time, you know, forging for elements and such like that, so I could upgrade my weapons or upgrade my armor or make new weapons and armor. But here was the thing about that. That wasn't all you were doing. You could do various other things. You could go on quests and go and discover mountains or ruins, go and fight dragons or zombies or marauders, or go and save the world and those such things like that. And that was kind of my problem with Minecraft and No Man's Sky. Was all you were just doing was going around picking up shit, random shit, from plants, from the ground, from the woods, from the trees, from the rocks. Random drone coming in every few minutes, having to fight that with the crappy controls, with a crappy gun that's constantly running low on ammo, being reminded every 2 minutes that your life support and your suit are slowly dying, worrying about fuel for my stupid ship. And the whole time I'm thinking, wow, I am so bored. Really wish I had not spent $60 on this. Oh, well.